We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. You all have been waiting for Boxing Ego's thoughts on David Benavidez versus David Morrell Jr. This fight just got announced surprisingly on social media, and we're going to talk about it. David Benavidez breaks the internet as he posted a graphic and he announced his next fight. Now, all the details are not available. Stay tuned to the end of this video. I will break down the information that is currently available to us. Boom. He posted this. Shout out to my dude, Dose of Genius. Sick graphics on Instagram. Dose of Genius. And I actually tagged him. I added him. There you go, right there. So make sure you guys follow my dude, Dose of Genius. He does dope graphics. If you're a boxing head, you will like this. So he made a graphic a while ago, you know, kind of advertising the fight as a fantasy fight. But now we find out that Benavidez versus Morrell is a real deal for the WBC interim title, right? And I posted, David Benavidez says he is going to rumble with David Morrell. More info to come. This is fire. And I'll go to Benavidez's page just so you guys, I mean, in case you don't trust that I copied it verbatim. So this is David Benavidez's actual page, evident by the blue check mark. And this is why you guys got to know where you get your information from. We don't jump the gun. When Boxing Ego reports it, it's real. There's a lot of low quality content online. People making up fake narratives, clickbaits, if you will. If you want the real news, hit the subscribe button and follow the page. But David Benavidez, he says there was a lot of names on the table, but I wanted to give my fans the best fight possible. I reached out to David Morrell and his team to make this happen, and we got the contract done. Fire emojis. This fight really gonna be a banger. It's a banger. Two of the best in the division and two titles on the line. Let's effing go. Date and location to be announced shortly. Bravo. Now, I'm not the smartest brother in the world, but given that we only have a few months left of this year, I want to say that will probably be, even though he said check back later, TBA, more details to come, I think it's fair to suggest that that'll likely be early 2025. Don't quote me on that, but if I had to take an educated guess, I would definitely say that the fight will be early, January, February, March, you know, somewhere in there. But this is a heck of a fight. I am in love with the fight. I've always been in love with the fight. I've pushed for the fight, and this is where it's at for boxing. This is what boxing is all about. I've been waiting for the fight. Like I said, it's been a long time coming. There was some confusion. I mean, I reported about it that they were trying to make this fight, and then you had David Benavidez, who basically said that he's fighting Jesse Hart, to which Jesse Hart was like, I don't know nothing about that. So I was confused. I think the boxing fans got a bit confused, like what is really good? Is Benavidez fighting him or is he not fighting him? And then out of nowhere, he just posted what I read to you. So it looks like we have ourselves a fight. We have ourselves a fight. Benavidez versus Morrell. It's going to be a banger. Now, I think you really got to give props to both fighters here. Both fighters deserve all the credit in the world. I'll give you 2 words. Canelo Alvarez. Baby. Baby. You want payday? I know that. David Benavidez is taking the risks that Canelo, as a face of boxing, should be taking. I know the Chupapi Muñeños, the Canelo Cinnabons, they're not going to like to hear Boxing Ego utter these words. But I'm telling you, and I mean it, Canelo is supposed to be doing what Benavidez is doing. Canelo Alvarez avoided the challenges. I'm not saying throughout his career, because he does have some good resume names, but in more recent terms, Canelo is not fighting the Morrells of the world, who was his mandatory. He's not fighting the Benavidez's of the world, who was his other mandatory as undisputed. He's no longer undisputed because he got stripped, because he didn't fight yet another mandatory, William Skull. And he's picking and choosing, and he's like, I got the fan base, I earned it, la la la. Everybody got to just deal with me, and my fans got to pay for whatever I give them type of attitude. So it is a breath of fresh air for a guy like David Benavidez, who is growing in popularity. He could easily play the same type of games. And look at a guy like David Morrell. Let's pull up David Morrell. So David Morrell, he has a record of 11-0. That right there, in my opinion, from all the years I have him in this boxing game, that in and of itself could be enough for some guys to discount David Morrell Jr. They'll be like, oh, he didn't look so great in his last fight against Hot Rod on the Crawford Madrimov card. The guy only has 11 fights. He needs to earn it. He needs to prove it. But then you have a guy like David Benavidez. Listen, I'm always going to be, as long as Benavidez moves like this, I'm always going to be a fan of David Benavidez. He's further along in his career, 29-0. He has every right, because here's the thing. We have upcoming fight this weekend, Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol, right? And that's for undisputed. The winner of this could and should easily be in line, I guess you could say, for the winner of Beterbiev Bivol, right? And David Benavidez, he could easily, let's say, babysit and just take, you know, just a stay busy type of fight, like just someone random, like a guy, bring up Jose Uzcategui or something like that, which is a fight that was scheduled to happen and then it fell apart. You know, just have a run-of-the-mill type of person like Jose Uzcategui to stay busy, so you stay and play it safe for the winner of Beterbiev versus Bivol. But this is no pick'em fight, or this is no gimme fight for either guy. This is a true pick'em fight between top names. So I applaud both fighters. But for this instance, David Benavidez, because he's further along in his career, some guys avoid Cuban fighters and Black American styles, like tough styles. Benavidez keeps showing you his character. When a guy like Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade was kind of avoided, especially by the likes of Canelo, right? It was Benavidez who stepped up and blemished Demetrius Andrade's resume. Nobody made Boo Boo look like that except for Benavidez, who stopped him in, you know, in a couple rounds, kind of made him quit, so to speak, right? And that was an avoided guy that many people, they didn't want to get in there with, including Canelo, who had opportunities as the A side to fight him He could have fought him at 54, 60, 68. Triple G never fought him. Hell no, guys, hey, Max, guys, is nothing. It's punch. It's nothing. Tick, tick, tick. Nothing. Right? Triple G could have fought him. Canelo could have fought him. None of these guys fought him except for Benavidez. He was the only guy that had everything on the line. Billy Joe Saunders was supposed to fight Boo Boo, but then he tried to cheat and he tested positive and blamed it on nasal spray, and then he never rescheduled that bout. So as it sits, the guys with something to lose, the big names, they all chose to play it safe except for Benavidez, and he's doing it again by fighting a dangerous David Morrell. Again, a Cuban fighter. You see a lot of times American styles that are difficult, like Shakur Stevenson or, you know, Cuban styles. Even though Morrell's an aggressive Cuban style, you just see sometimes these styles get avoided, especially when, as I said earlier, Morrell only has 11 fights. 11 fights. That's, imagine Canelo, he would never fight David Morrell at this stage of his career, possibly ever, unless he looked vulnerable or lost. You know, Canelo would say, oh, he's beat nobody. Why should I fight David Morrell? He's beat nobody. You know, he would try to front him, but then he'll pick someone who's worse than David Morrell. Same thing he did with David Benavidez. He said, why should I fight Benavidez? He fight nobody. One Anthony Darrell. So, like, you know, he acts like it's nothing and nonchalant, but David Benavidez is creeping up because I think both guys had vulnerability shown in their first fight at 175, and then they're jumping straight into a banger in a war. You got to give props to both. I give props to Morrell for being 11-0, and he's ready to step up. He's been telling you he wants to step up, and he's stepping up in a major way against a dangerous guy in Benavidez. And then I give props to Benavidez because he's further along in his career. He can still keep pushing for Canelo, hoping to get that the better be of Bevo winner. He could try to play it safe. He's taking dangerous person again, just like he did when he fought Demetrius Andrade. So he's fighting guys that nobody really wants to fight. You know, the black and American styles and Cuban styles like Morrell that other people, they find excuses to, like, I'm talking about guys with the profile, guys with the big name. They keep finding excuses not to fight him, except for Benavidez. I mean, this is true boxing. Benavidez is a throwback fighter. Obviously, Morrell is too, for being so young in his career. It's just, this is great. Now, in case you guys still don't believe this because it hasn't been confirmed, this is PBC's official Premier Boxing Champions page. You see the 1.8, and they posted the graphic and they posted the caption. So it looks like this is getting serious, because why would Premier Boxing Champs on their verified page say, fight fans, how are we feeling about this matchup, and then tag both of them? So 2025 PBC is coming with a vengeance. I can already feel it. You got Tank doing a December show. We're gonna get the return of Jamal Charlo likely on that show, and then they're working on their next endeavors. Quiet first and second quarter from PBC for obvious reasons. I told you Al Heyman had some family issues and he had to sort that, and now that it's sorted, he's back. He's back with the company, and, you know, back making the moves and making the biggest fights in boxing. This is just a banger. Like, I can't say enough about it. This is boxing at its best, where I really love what Benavidez is doing in the terms of, he did everything he could do in terms of like trying to embarrass and embarrass and call out Canelo, make Canelo look pathetic and look like he's avoiding him. He did all that, and Canelo still, you know, beats to the sound of his own drum. He's not chomping at the bit to fight Benavidez. This is what you do. You say, F it. If it happens, it happens, and you move on with your career. Guys like Amir Khan should have learned. I mean, obviously this happened after, but he could have learned from how Benavidez was moving, because he was so thirsty for a Floyd Mayweather fight, Amir Khan, or a Pacquiao fight, that he just stagnated his career for a period of years. when he could have just been fighting. And then he got greedy and took a big fight, but everything was against him. It was at Canelo weight of 155. You got a big name, but then you seen Amir Khan got bludgeoned and knocked out with his eyes open. So that was clearly a fight you shouldn't have taken, and out of your depth, out of your weight class and stuff like that. Benavidez is not to be deterred by Canelo potentially trying to slow him up. And if I'm being honest, Canelo is getting embarrassed here, because this is my opinion. I don't have nothing against nobody, but I solemnly swear, I think Canelo's last two opponents, even if they're undefeated, like basically when Canelo fought him, Munguia or Berlanga, both of these guys would beat those guys by stoppage. Yeah, I said it. In my honest, let me run it back. If Jaime Munguia was undefeated at 168 and Edgar Berlanga was undefeated at 168, I truly believe that David Morrell or Benavidez, if they had fought him instead of Canelo, like if you gave Morrell Munguia and then you gave Benavidez Berlanga, they both will get knocked out by this main event. They would definitely lose, you know, if, depending on how much pain they can take and stuff like that, maybe they survive, but I definitely think they would lose. So this is a fight that can only be trumped by the undisputed fight, which is Beterbiev and Bivol, and that's just because it's all the belts. But you know, Benavidez sparred with Bivol in the past, and I heard he was, you know, giving him a run for his money. So the winner of this is definitely somebody you need to be watching. So I can't wait. I will wait for more official news and, you know, the media days and the location. I might even try to go to this. This is just crazy. This is just a crazy affair. So shout out to PBC. And if you like this video, my name is Ego. I've been covering boxing over 10 years. Subscribe. There's a lot of low-level content, low-quality content. You know, people just rushing out content to put something out, you know, 2-minute videos and like, oh, let me just hurry up and say something. Not really talking about anything. People clickbaiting you to death and, you know, shoving brand deals down your throat. Come, if you like real boxing talk, you know, you'll like me. I think we got to bring boxing back. Bad audio quality, bad visual quality, cheap looking thumbnails. We got to bring the game back, and fights like this can bring it back. Detailed videos where I give you guys some details and some data points, I think will help boxing as well. So if you enjoy this type of boxing and this boxing content, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think. But David's gonna win. Get it? David is gonna win.